Hello everyone, this is part 9 of What If Naruto Was Hashirama's Heir, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Tsunade stood in the middle of the Chunin exam stadium as she looked between the two others on the stadium floor with her violet eyes and golden blonde hair stood opposing green eyes and bright, pink hair. It was Naruto versus Sakura. Tsunade raised her hand and then swung it down, signaling the start of the spar between the two. Hajime, said Tsunade as she jumped back into the stands beside Shizune, Kakashi, and Jiraiya. Naruto and Sakura didn't move as a gentle breeze fluttered through the arena. Naruto stood grinning at Sakura as she scoffed at his nonchalant attitude toward her. I could care less that he's an S-rank shinobi. I've trained to be able to walk beside Naruto and Sasuke-kun for almost 4 years. I'll just have to show him that I can, thought Sakura as she took out 4 kunai. Sakura placed 2 in each hand as she flung them all at the still smiling Naruto. Naruto took one of his tri-pronged kunai out of his ninja pouch as he easily deflected the kunai. As Naruto blocked the kunai though, small squares of paper broke off the end of them and fluttered around Naruto. Naruto realized that the pieces of paper were actually explosive notes and Sakura was holding a half-ram seal. Sakura smirked at Naruto as she channeled her chakra. Boom! A massive explosion rocked the area around Naruto as debris and smoke kicked up everywhere. Once the dust settled, Naruto was nowhere to be found. Left, right, up, behind. That just leaves, thought Sakura, checking each direction before raising a fist into the air, eerily similar to Tsunade. Sakura let out a grunt of effort as she swung her fist into the ground. As soon as her fist hit the ground, the stadium trembled uncontrollably as giant cracks began to form all over the field. Found you, said Sakura as Naruto could now be seen due to Sakura's efforts. Of course she has Bachan's superhuman strength, thought Naruto as he performed a shunshin and appeared before Sakura. Let's test that taijutsu. Sakura was prepared for Naruto's quick movement and lashed out with a quick fist. Naruto landed in front of Sakura only to have to dodge the fist as Sakura continued swinging at him with fists in hopes of connecting once. Only one punch and it's over, Naruto, said Sakura with a punch coming at every word. She continued attacking Naruto with punches and kicks but didn't come close to touching him. Naruto continued to smile as he pulled out another kunai. Sakura threw out another fist only to stop halfway when she realized she would hit the business end of Naruto's kunai. But that doesn't matter if you can't hit the person in the first place, said Naruto as he kicked Sakura in the stomach to send her skidding back over the rocky terrain. Naruto then placed his hands in the tiger seal. Let's test that genjutsu, thought Naruto as he channeled his technique. Kokuangyo no jutsu, bringer of darkness technique, thought Naruto. Sakura tensed seeing Naruto hold a hand seal and was prepared for an attack. As Sakura tensed, she noticed an eerie black spreading out over the field around her, actually spreading out everywhere. The darkness eventually shrouded her completely as she could see nothing but pitch black. Sakura recognized it was a genjutsu, but as she attempted to dispel it, she received a harsh kick to her stomach. The same place as before. Sakura was sent skidding back just like last time as she heard Naruto's voice seemingly come from everywhere. I won't let you get out of this technique by dispelling it, that's if you could dispel it. And as you can see, pain doesn't help either. What will you do, Sakura-chan? Drawled out Naruto. Sakura tried to dispel it again only to get kicked in the same spot again, except a little harder. Calm down, Sakura, thought Sakura as she stood up and closed her eyes. If he won't let me dispel it and pain doesn't release this genjutsu then. Quote. Sakura went to place her hands in the ram seal in another attempt to dispel the genjutsu. Naruto shook his head slightly and attempted to kick her again, only to get decked by a chakra-enhanced punch. The genjutsu around Sakura disappeared immediately as her fist was planted firmly into Naruto's abdomen. Naruto was sent flying back into the Chunin exam stadium wall and upon contact, reverted into wood. Sakura turned to her left to see another Naruto materialize there with a smile on his face. Pretending to try and dispel it, only to punch me and free yourself by hitting the caster. Good on ya, said Naruto. I was fighting a clone the whole time. Questioned Sakura as Naruto nodded. You must have made the switch when you went underground, said Sakura as she went through several hand seals. Sakura finished her hand seals as she looked at Naruto. Naruto flared his chakra, cracking the ground around him slightly, dispelling the genjutsu Sakura attempted to place him under. Sakura-chan, my chakra's too powerful for genjutsu of that level. Shall we move on to shinobi tactics number 3? Said Naruto as Sakura ran through several hand seals again. In the stands. Wow, I've seen how strong Sakura has gotten over the last few years and I know how good she is, said Shizune. But to see her getting toyed with by Naruto-kun is amazing. How strong is he, Jiraiya-sama? Jiraiya simply smiled. Well, I'm not too sure. Between his Mokuton and the 9 tails, not to mention his already impressive abilities without those two, I don't think anyone in Konoha would be able to face him and win. Even I or Tsunadheim would have a tough go at him. Kid's good, said Jiraiya. Not to mention Sage Mode. I really don't know what the kid is truly capable of. Kakashi's Sharingan was out as he was watching the two fight. Jiraiya-sama is right. Naruto hasn't even been using chakra besides that earlier Shunshin and Genjutsu. Not even chakra to enhance his speed. Meaning that was pure speed to get away from Sakura. Plus he was a clone anyway. A clone I couldn't distinguish with my eye, said Kakashi. And now they are about to get into a ninjutsu fight. Naruto's favorite kind of fight. Back to the fight. Sakura went through hand seals quickly as she then held her hands out. Chakra coated her hands as Naruto recognized it as Chakra no Mesu, chakra scalpels. Sakura came back at Naruto with more speed as she swiped at the blonde. But like before, Naruto dodged each strike with ease. This time however Naruto began to hit her back. Sakura sent out a left-hand palm strike only for Naruto to duck it and tag her in the stomach with a punch. Naruto then kicked Sakura in the stomach again as she was sent skidding back farther than before. His taijutsu is flawless. No movement is wasted and his attacks are so powerful. And I'm sure he's not hitting me as hard as he could either, thought Sakura as she held a green glowing hand over her abdomen to heal herself. Sakura then stood up as she ran through 3 hand seals before placing one by her mouth. Naruto merely placed his hands in the snake seal ready to end this fight. Suten, Mizurapa water style, water trumpet, said Sakura as she spewed out a torrent of fast water at Naruto. Naruto smiled seeing that Sakura had an affinity for water. Too bad that just happened to be one of the worst chakra natures to have against him. Water grows wood and as such would be weak against it. Mokuton, Kajukai Koran wood style, advent of a world of flowering trees, thought Naruto as trees sprouted in front of him, completely blocking Sakura's technique and eventually rushing out at her. Despite the impressive onslaught of trees coming at her, Sakura managed to dodge all of them with medic nin agility. But as she was dodging, Sakura noticed that on the ends of the trees were giant, orange flowers. The flowers then bloomed as they spewed out a ton of pollen. Pollen, thought Sakura until she fell to her knees. The pollen renders any target unconscious. Should have known that. Before Sakura could hit the ground, Naruto appeared beside her in a shunshin while placing his hand on the ground. Naruto forced his trees to recede along with the pollen in the air as he grabbed Sakura before she could faceplant into the ground below. Naruto then took Sakura up to the stands to get her woken up by Tsunad's medical jutsu. Good spar. Even though we really didn't see much from Naruto, said Tsunade as she placed a green glowing hand over Sakura to get rid of Naruto's technique. To think he'd be able to use Gigi's technique like that with such ease. How strong are you? Thought Tsunade as Jiraiya patted Naruto on the back. My apprentice kicked Tsunade's apprentice's ass, said Jiraiya with an arm around a now grinning Naruto. Now all you have to do is whip Sasuke's ass and that'll mean I'm a better teacher than my teammates, the other two Sannin. Well technically, I already am if you consider our first students. Minato definitely trumps Shizune and Kabuto. I take offense to that, said Shizune as she turned away from Jiraiya. Jiraiya realized his mistake and tried to correct it by trying to console Shizune but to no avail as she was hearing none of that. Well, I'm interested in seeing what all you can do Naruto. But I'd prefer it not against me, said Kakashi smiling at his ex-student. Naruto was about to speak until he felt a burning sensation come from his left bicep. It was his Anbu tattoo glowing a bright red as Naruto tensed realizing what it meant. Invasion, said Naruto, disappearing in a flicker of movement. The burning sensation from Naruto's Anbu tattoo was a distress signal from an overrun Anbu squad that sent the message to any Anbu in Konoha. In case of an attack on the village, it was Anbu protocol to send out a signal to alert the village if you confront the attackers beforehand. Naruto arrived at the south gate since that was where the enemy shinobi should be coming from based on the message's details. Naruto scanned the area out in front of him, only to see no other shinobi coming. Was that just a test? Thought Naruto, not sensing any shinobi approaching. No, your ability with negative emotions sensing is good but not as good as mine. There are enemies. Hundreds of them, said Kurama as Naruto nodded his head taking his Bijuu's warning. Naruto placed his hands in the ram seal. Taju Moku Bunshin no Jutsu, multiple wood clone technique, said Naruto as dozens of wood protrusions stuck up from the ground and eventually turned into Naruto's. Evacuate the citizens if you can, if not, protect them. Go. Naruto's clones immediately took off without a word, listening to their original. After creating his clones, Naruto bit his thumb to summon his favorite toad companion. Kuchios, said Naruto as a huge plume of smoke billowed out. Once the smoke cleared, Naruto stood atop Gamakichi's head. Gamakichi was wearing a large blue vest with the kanji for oil written on the back. Gamakichi also had a large tanto strapped to his side and was blowing out the smoke from the cigarette in his mouth. Yo, what you need bro, said Gamakichi in a deep voice as Naruto's eyes bulged out of his head. What? Naruto shook his head slightly. I still can't get over that you're as big as Gamabunta now. Toads grow fast, said Naruto as Gamakichi smirked. Hey, we trained together for 6 months and now you want to get surprised by my growth? Asked Gamakichi, shaking his head in amusement at Naruto. I'm not getting you or that blonde lady more of my dad's sake if this is what this is about. I almost got caught last time and even then I still got punished. Hey, that wasn't my fault. Gamatatsu is an idiot and you know it. So don't blame me for your brother's lack of any cognitive functions, said Naruto back to Gamakichi. It was totally your fault. You summoned him and didn't give him candy. So he kept chasing me around asking if I gave you his share of candy because you told him I had it, said Gamakichi. What? It wasn't my fault he showed up the first time instead of you, that's your fault for not answering the call right away. Then he wouldn't leave me alone even after I summoned you, so I had to make him go somehow. But even then you shouldn't have been so slow getting Bachan's booze. I sent him back a whole 10 minutes later and he still messed you up. That's your fault, slowpoke. Naruto, came the voice of Kurama, growing irritated at Naruto and Gamakichi's talking. You do realize that there is an invasion coming, said Kurama, getting Naruto out of his back and forth with Gamakichi. And another thing, started Gamakichi again until he felt hundreds of chakra signatures enter his field of perception and they were approaching fast. Naruto, I may be going delusional or maybe my sensor abilities with senjutsu are going haywire right now. But please tell me those are friendly chakra signatures approaching at rapid speed, said Gamakichi as Naruto shook his head. No, that's definitely enemies, said Naruto as appearing over a hill were hundreds, at least over 300 specks approaching Konoha. And they can fly. Gamakichi, we have to tell Bar-chan. Gamakichi took off in a mighty leap as he headed toward the heart of Konoha in search of Tsunade. In the village, 10 minutes prior. Invasion, said Naruto as he disappeared in a flicker of movement. Tsunade, Jiraiya, Shizune, Kakashi, and the now conscious Sakura stood still for a second until they realized that Naruto was serious. An invasion was coming and they all had a job to do. One of those was to hand out orders and Tsunade was ready to do it. Sakura, head to the hospital. I need you there in case our shinobi get injured. Shizune, go and sound the alarm for a level 3 emergency. Kakashi and Jiraiya, with me, said Tsunade as she handed out orders to those around her. Go. The 5 were off to their individual tasks as Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Kakashi headed to the top of the Hokage Tower. Shortly after their arrival, they heard the loud wailing siren of Konoha's alarm system that broke the peaceful tranquility of Konoha in an instant. The inhabitants of Konoha all froze as the siren blared extremely loud for a full 5 seconds before dying down. Shinobi immediately began to flood the streets as Shizune's calm voice sounded out over the village's intercom system to give out directions. Attention! A level 3 emergency has been declared. This is not a drill. All combat personnel is to attend the defense stations. All non-combat personnel is to evacuate the village through the underground tunnel system. Seek immediate assistance if you are unable to evacuate by yourself. I repeat, a level 3 emergency has been declared. This is not a drill. All combat personnel are to attend the defense stations. All non-combat personnel is to evacuate the village through the underground tunnel system. Seek immediate assistance if you are unable to evacuate by yourself. Shizun's voice continued to permeate the air as she repeated those same lines. The once calm village was now a flurry of movement as tens of thousands of people were moving according to the directions handed out. Tsunade looked around internally happy that all of her shinobi and civilians were handling themselves well in the face of an emergency. Several figures then landed on the roof of the Hokage Tower with her, Jiraiya, and Kakashi as they attended their own stations. Shikaku Nara, Konoha's Jonin commander, landed near Tsunade to help lead Konoha's defense. Next to him was his son, Shikamaru Nara, as he proved himself useful in planning just like his father. The two normally lazy Naras had unnaturally sharp faces as they prepared to dish out defense strategies for the impending attack. Not a second after those two, 4 other figures appeared on the platform consisting of 3 of Konoha's Anbu captains and Konoha's Anbu commander. The last figure to appear on the platform was Konoha's latest Anbu captain, Gama. He was decked out in his Anbu gear, complete with his Gama mask already on his face. He had arrived jumping off of Gamakichi's head, who landed next to the tower allowing him to get off. Upon arriving, Gama spoke. Hokage-sama, there are at least 300 shinobis headed toward the village and they are flying in on a device that resembles wings, said Gama as Tsunade immediately realized who the enemy was. Sky Country, said Tsunade. So it's come to this again. Sky Country has returned as they are the only shinobi I know to have technology advanced enough to provide aerial assaults in the masses. Seems the cycle continues, said Jiraiya as Shikamaru posed a question. The cycle continues. Does that mean that we've faced them in battle before? Said Shikamaru as he was already formulating strategies in his head based on the information given. If my memory serves correct, said Shikaku, who was also formulating strategies at a rapid pace. They were a pretty large group of shinobi who entered the Second World War trying to overthrow the 5 great nations. Upon entering though, they were soundly defeated by Konoha some 4 decades ago. If this really is Sky Country then yes we can expect them to use highly advanced technology to supplement their offensive power. Not to mention they've had over 40 years to advance it, so be prepared for that. No one challenges a village unless they believe they can win. So in essence, their firepower must be tremendous to want to attack Konoha with only 300 ninjas, said Kakashi, who despite slouching slightly still looked alert and ready to strike at a moment's notice. How are we going to combat this? The platform was quiet for a few seconds until Jiraiya spoke up. Why not let history repeat itself? Shikaku looked at Jiraiya dumbfounded as he had been racking his brain through hundreds of different scenarios when one was already there. Weather the storm and then eliminate them without prejudice. If that's the case, we'll need a Hyuga. Right, Commander, gather your Anbu and place them at choke points outside of the village to help assist the border patrol shinobi in the first phase of the defense, said Tsunade. The Anbu commander disappeared without a sound or flicker of movement as if he was never there. His Anbu captains all disappeared with him as they prepared to defend their home, including Gamakichi since he was Gama's summon and left to aid him. Kakashi, find me a Hyuga and Aburame as they will be tasked with the return assault team along with you, Jiraiya, Shikamaru, and eventually Naruto. Kakashi disappeared in a puff of smoke as he went out on his assignment. Jiraiya, you'll be in the village taking out as many as you can to keep them from damaging the village too much, said Tsunade as Jiraiya nodded and jumped off the tower while biting his thumb. Kuchio's no jutsu summoning technique, said Jiraiya as 2 massive toads appeared. A blue toad with dual swords strapped to his back and a purple toad with a Sormzata and shield. Jiraiya addressed his 2 summons upon the smoke clearing. Invasion. Sky Country. Can I get you guys assistance? Asked Jiraiya landing on the purple toad's head. Of course Jiraiya-sama. Though I may be a little clumsy, spoke the purple toad, Gamaken. Without a doubt, said the blue toad, Gamahero. Jiraiya smiled. After a brief handing out of orders, the 2 toads of Mount Myoboku disappeared into the corners of the village that were facing where the ninja would be approaching from. Tsunade then turned to the last 2 on the platform with her. And finally, I need Shikaku to help guide the defense while Shikamaru figures out where the enemy is. Use Anoiki's Shindenshin no Jutsu mind-body transmission technique if you have to so you can get the message to everyone all at once. And Shikamaru, they use their chakra through the devices to help them fly. Meaning that they'll probably use up just enough to allow full assault on the village while maintaining just enough to get back to where they came from. That's what the Hyuga will be for. He'll tell you how much chakra drains and from that I'm sure you can handle it from there. The two Naruto nodded their heads as they waited for Kakashi's imminent arrival with the two shinobi for the return assault team. Sending out Jiraiya and Naruto would already be overkill if the Sky Ninja only had 300 shinobi. Not to mention the fact that Kakashi will be there as well along with his son and the two trackers. I'm assuming you'll be on the battlefield Hokage-sama, said Shikaku as Tsunade bit her thumb. Of course, said Tsunade as she summoned Katsuyu. We have work to do. Tsunade jumped on her summons head as they headed to the front lines for the arrival of the flying shinobi. With Naruto. This is outrageous, said a beat-up Gamakichi as several more Sky Ninja approached him. On top of Gamakichi's head was a maskless and wore-out-looking Naruto. Naruto lost his mask due to one of the Sky Ninja's bombs detonating near him and blowing it off his face. Naruto was also missing the upper right half of his Anbu uniform in the struggle against the Sky Ninja's assault. Yeah, it is. If this has taught me anything, I need to work on my long-range attacks because this sucks. Kichi, bring the fire, said Naruto as he put his hands in the ram seal. Gamma Yuden Toad Oil Bullet, said Naruto as he fired out a spew of high-speed oil at the approaching Sky Ninja. Gamakichi fired off a torrent of flames as it combined with Naruto's oil bullet. Kaiten, Gamma Yuden Fire Style, Toad Flame Bombs, said Naruto as the oil and fire tore off into the several approaching Sky Ninja, burning them alive. As their smoldering carcasses fell to the ground, Naruto looked around to see all the destruction that was caused by the Sky Ninja's assault. The Sky Ninja's air raid was surprisingly strong as they took out over 200 of Konoha's shinobis. The Sky Ninjas flew in and decimated them with kunai launchers, which fired kunai out at a rapid pace of 20 per second, while also dropping very potent bombs now and then. The death rate would have been more if it hadn't been for Tsunade's help on the field and Sakura's efforts in the hospital. Not to mention Shikaku's instructions through Anoiki's jutsu was a big help as well. The village had been destroyed slightly due to the assault, but luckily there had been no civilian causalities due to the quick evacuation of them. If those Anbu hadn't gotten that message to us, I don't know how many more lives would have been lost today, said Naruto as Gamakichi's summoning time ended and he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto looked to the sky to see the Sky Ninja heading back to where they came from. The Sky Ninja hadn't come away without some losses in their air raid but not nearly as much as Konoha. They lost a little over 1/5 of their ninjas and were probably heading back to recharge for a return. Jiraiya landed next to Naruto as they were ready to return fire on the retreating Sky Ninja. Kakashi had found Neji and Shino and enlisted their help in the return assault squad. Those three and Shikamaru had already left to face off against the Sky Ninjas. Neji had become a Jonin recently along with Shikamaru and Sakura as Shino had been promoted a while ago along with Naruto. Meaning that the assault squad consisted of 5 Jonin and a Sannin with one of the Jonin being a current Anbu captain and Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. An angry Kyuubi Jinchuriki. You ready to go Naruto? It's time, said Jiraiya as Naruto locked eyes with his sensei. Jiraiya could see the anger behind Naruto's violet eyes and knew that it would not be pretty for the Sky Ninja. Yes. Did we already figure out where they are? Said Naruto tearing off the rest of his top leaving him shirtless. Jiraiya nodded his head. If Shikamaru's calculations are correct, they are a little over 10 miles away. The other 4 have already left. We're behind them, said Jiraiya as he noticed red markings appear on Naruto's face. Jiraiya realized Naruto was entering Sage mode as his eyes shined a vibrant gold. Every wound on Naruto's body, even slight bruises and burn marks, disappeared and regenerated immediately due to his entering Sage mode. Let's go, said Naruto as he took off at a rapid speed. Far faster than Jiraiya had ever seen before and it looked as though he wasn't even trying. Luckily Jiraiya was one of the Sannin and had the ability to keep up with Naruto but even he was having a hard time. About 7 miles into the sprint, Naruto felt a massive spike in chakra. Naruto looked to his right to see what appeared to be a giant fortress beginning to take off. Naruto could feel a large amount of chakra coming from the fortress as he looked to Jiraiya. Go ahead, kid. I'll go back up the others, said Jiraiya as he left to continue to where Shikamaru told him to go. Naruto took off in a dead sprint at the now beginning to lift off ship. Right before it could get all the way off the ground, Naruto jumped extremely high in the air to land on the side of it. Upon landing, Naruto was greeted by a dozen sky ninja. What the? How did you get up here? Said a sky nin as he picked up his kunai launcher to fire at Naruto. Naruto stood about 10 feet away from the ninja as he put his finger on the trigger. Right before the ninja's finger pulled back, he heard a swirling noise behind him. Rasengan, said Naruto, smashing his jutsu into the back of the ninja before he could pull the trigger. Naruto performed a shunshin to appear behind the ninja with teleportation-like speed. Naruto then began to rapidly shunshin behind the other 11 shinobi as he continued to hit each of them with a newly created Rasengan. Raisen Senko Cho Rinbu Kosen Shiki, Spiraling Flash Super Round Dance Howl Participate Formula, said Naruto as the 12 shinobi each got blasted by a Rasengan to their backs seemingly simultaneously as Naruto was already making his way into the ship. Your father may be a gifted shinobi but he sucks at naming techniques, said Kurama as Naruto took off toward the biggest chakra signature on the ship, ripping through any sky shinobi in his way with ease. Though in Sage mode, your speed with the shunshin is amplified to the max, making it appear as if you can teleport since you can rapid fire it without killing your body from the constant high-speed movement. It's not as fast as the Hiraishin but definitely a nice substitute. What? That name is cool. Anyway, the big chakra signature is on the other side of this room, thought Naruto as he held out two palms in front of him. Rasengan Barrage, said Naruto, creating two Rasengans at the same time in each palm. Naruto then smashed through the wall as he landed in what appeared to be a throne room. Hello Naruto Senju, came the voice of a man sitting on a throne as he looked at Naruto. It is a pleasure to meet you and it'll be even better as you'll be the perfect opponent for what I need. Naruto landed in the room and looked at the man that spoke to him. He was a tall man with long black hair and a beard to match with thick eyebrows. He had no shirt on as you could see his bulging muscle tone. Based on your appearance, I'd assume you just changed as there is a shirt torn up behind you. Which suggests that it burst due to rapid body growth. Who are you? Questioned Naruto, still in Sage mode, only in his Anbu pants and shoes, as he could feel the man's chakra. The man gave Naruto an arrogant look. I am a king. I am the Sky Country's emperor. Shino, said the man as he laughed slightly at Naruto. And you will be the first Konoha shinobi to fall before I destroy your village with the power of Dark Chakra. Naruto heard Kurama scoff in his head at the phrase, Dark Chakra. What's going on, Kurama? Do you know anything about Dark Chakra? Cause from what I can feel through Sage mode, it's pretty powerful, said Naruto internally to his nine-tailed partner. It's called the Ribi, Zero Tails. It is a malevolent spirit, created from the dark thoughts and feelings of downtrodden people. I remember Mito talking about it while I inhabited her body. It was supposedly sealed in the Land of Sky all those years ago when Konoha defeated them, but I'm guessing that it's been brought back by this guy, said Kurama as Naruto looked at Shino. Dark Chakra is powerful, better than anything in existence, said Shino from behind Naruto as he had got there with speed. He threw a punch at Naruto only for Naruto to turn his body, parrying the punch with the right side of his body during the spin, and lash out with a heel kick to Shino's chin. Shino was lifted off the ground and sent into the wall behind him as Naruto put his foot down. I'll admit that the chakra you're using is powerful, said Naruto as he pointed to the markings on his face. But you must have not heard of Senjutsu, Sage techniques. Senjutsu, said Shino as his face healed from Naruto's powerful kick. No matter. As you can see, I have the ultimate rebirth technique. No matter how much you damage me, I will always heal from any injuries. And you'll eventually run out of Senjutsu while I'll still be able to keep going. My chakra feeds off of the darkness in people's hearts. Just like the darkness in your own. Where you couldn't save your friend, Sasuke, is it? Naruto's eyes widened slightly at that bit of information. How do you know about Sasuke? That mission was never officially recorded, nor has he been considered a missing nin. So how could you know about that? Said Naruto as Shino laughed. The darkness in your heart told me, said Shino as he charged back in at Naruto with more speed than before. Shino came to a stop in front of Naruto as he threw out a flurry of jabs at Naruto. Naruto dodged the strikes as he then brought up both hands to block Shino's roundhouse kick. Naruto gripped Shino's leg as he did a leg sweep of Shino's other leg. Naruto then spun around several times with Shino before flinging him through his throne chair and into the wall behind it. Shino laughed as his wounds healed again before crawling out of the wall. As Shino was coming out of the wall, he saw a giant blue ball appear to his right. Shino had no time to dodge as his entire right side felt the full force of the enormous blue sphere in Naruto's hand. Senpo, Odama Rasengan, Sage Technique, Big Ball Rasengan, said Naruto as he let his jutsu explode outward, blasting Shino through the wall to his right. Naruto waited with bated breath as he wondered if that last jutsu killed him. Naruto, do you feel that? Said Kurama, noticing someone else approaching the room. Naruto nodded his head as he let his sage mode dissipate, having already felt the person approaching the room. Shino came walking back through the wall. Thank you, Naruto. This is perfect. Did you know that the more you damage and repair a muscle, the bigger it can grow? Due to all the damage you've caused me, I've become even stronger than before, said Shino as he noticed that Naruto's sage mode markings had disappeared. And it seems you've run out of your special chakra. What will you do now? This is sudden. But Orochimaru wants your power, came the smooth voice of a 6-foot-tall ninja standing behind Shino. The ninja had on a black shirt with a raised collar that was opened slightly and gray pants that went into black shinobi sandals. The ninja also had on black forearm braces and a white, rope-like belt around his waist that held a chokuto sword with blackguards. The most noticeable trait about the ninja was the Uchiha clan crest on the back of his shirt and the pair of blood-red eyes, signs of the Sharingan. Shino didn't even notice the ninja appear behind him. Who are you? Said Shino to the ninja behind him. Yo, Sasuke, said Naruto as he looked toward Sasuke. Sasuke looked at Naruto as the two locked eyes. Sasuke's eyes spun quickly as they morphed into the Mangekyo. Tsukuyomi, thought Sasuke. In a pitch-black world. Naruto was dragged into a pitch-black world where his body was inverted in colors. Naruto looked around the world slightly as he noticed he was in a genjutsu. Sasuke knows that I can easily get out of genjutsu. Even with this technique, I'd still be able to get out of this, thought Naruto as he channeled his chakra, cracking the pitch-black area that he was in. Naruto was prepared to do it again until he broke the genjutsu, but Sasuke's voice stopped him. Naruto, wait. There's something I need to tell you, said Sasuke, appearing in the field next to Naruto beside his Susanoo. Do you know the reason why I left the village? Because if not, then I'll tell you right now, as I hope you remember your promise of helping me. Naruto shook his head. No. Yes, I remember what I promised you I'd do whenever you went after Itachi. But I always knew there was a reason that you left the village, since that squad of Anbu attacked me before I could leave. Was it an S-rank mission that Bar-chan sent you on? Said Naruto to Sasuke. You're right that it was an S-rank mission, but Hokage-sama didn't sanction it, said Sasuke as Naruto looked confused. What do you know about Root? Real world. 10 minutes passed in the Tsukuyomi world as only a second in the real world passed as Naruto nodded his head toward Sasuke. Sasuke nodded back as Shino began talking. Sasuke Uchiha. As in the friend that Naruto lost. The irony of this situation is unreal, said Shino laughing. Orochimaru wants my power again. What if I say no? Are you going to drag me there? Said Shino. Sasuke kicked Shino into the rubble of his throne chair that he had been thrown through earlier. If that's what you want me to do, said Sasuke as Shino stood up again. Shino ran at Sasuke as Sasuke merely sidestepped the punch. Shino then turned around with an overhead axe punch only to freeze mid-punch. Genjutsu, Sharingan, said Sasuke, paralyzing Shino with mere eye contact. Shino struggled to move as Sasuke slowly put his hands in the tiger seal. Kaiten, Goruka no Jutsu, fire style, great fire dragon technique, said Sasuke as he blew out a giant dragon of fire that engulfed Shino and blasted him into the wall. Shino laid smoking in the now blackened area of the wall due to Sasuke's jutsu. You think all of my dark chakra is gone? There are plenty of twisted hearts in this world, said Shino, stepping out of the wall with severe burn marks all over him. Then show us that power again, said Sasuke. Shino stood back up fully and obliged Sasuke's request. Shino began to channel his chakra as his body regenerated, only for him to drop to both of his knees and cough violently. Shino's hair turned white and fell out as he turned into an old, fragile man. What did you do to me? Questioned Shino as he seemed to have lost all of his dark chakra. Sasuke's Sharingan spun slightly. I used my eyes to see the flow of your chakra. I guess you didn't feel my Chidori Senbon Chidori needles hit you back then, said Sasuke as Shino looked on confused trying to remember. Shino cocked his head up as it hit him. When I walked back into the room. I see. So you disrupted my control over my chakra through my pressure points, said Shino. I'm not going to kill you. Orochimaru needs your power and I'm taking you back to him, said Sasuke as Shino stood back up. Orochimaru is probably after this, not me, said Shino as he ran his finger along the wall behind his throne. A secret compartment opened up and he grabbed the scroll inside and tossed it to Sasuke. Right after tossing it to Sasuke, Shino pulled the lever that was situated behind the scroll to drop down into a secret chamber. Sasuke snagged the scroll as he looked at Naruto and the two nodded to each other. The two disappeared and appeared in front of a wall of the Sky Fortress. Naruto and Sasuke stood staring at the wall in front of them as if they were waiting for something. You can blow through that wall at any time you know, said Sasuke as Naruto scoffed slightly. PSSH. Use your Chidori and cut through it. I've done all the heavy lifting before you came. You just threw a couple of electric needles in a dude's back. What makes you think I want to do all the work? This is all you at this point, said Naruto as Sasuke scoffed back. Shut the hell up. Give me control, I'll do it myself, said Kurama in Naruto's head. Naruto's whisker marks deepened and his eyes took on a red appearance with slit irises as he smiled a sinister grin. Back up Uchiha boy. I'm going to blow this wall to smithereens, said Kurama through Naruto as he had been given control. Sasuke merely stepped back as the Kurama-controlled Naruto clapped his hands together. Kaiten, Kitsune Hoka, fire style, fox fire, said Kurama as he blew out a violent and powerful stream of fire at the wall in front of them. The fire blew through the wall with ease as it continued all the way making a small tunnel. That felt good. Naruto got back control of his body as he shivered slightly. That always feels weird, said Naruto as he coughed up a bit of soot from Kurama breathing fire. How do you deal with the ash in your mouth after expelling a fire technique? Questioned Naruto while he and Sasuke took off down the tunnel that leads to where they could feel Shino's chakra. Sasuke merely laughed as they arrived at the end of the tunnel. The two shinobis noticed Shino standing in a chamber under a yellow fetus-like object. That's the Ribi. It's trapped inside that yellow substance as it's probably being used to power this fortress, said Kurama to Naruto as he nodded his head. Sasuke powered up a Chidori only for it to dissipate and get absorbed by the Ribi. Shino laughed as he finally took notice of the two. You two are fools for coming all the way here. This place collects all the chakra that the Ribi has gathered and converts it into energy. This is the Sky Country's ultimate weapon, the Ankavantian, shouted Shino. And now that you two are here, your chakra is being absorbed for use in the Ankavantian, rendering you two powerless. Naruto and Sasuke landed in the chamber with Shino. I'm guessing the Ankavantian has some superweapon on it that can destroy mountains or something along those lines, said Naruto. But even if our chakra is being absorbed, that means that yours is as well. We'll still kick your ass, said Sasuke as Shino laughed again. Did you think I came all the way down here just to have my chakra absorbed? Said Shino as his dark chakra seeped into the Ribi. The Ribi then attached yellow arms around Shino as it dragged him into its body. With the power of the Beiyu, we have the ultimate weapon. As Shino said that, the Ribi glowed a bright yellow along with the substance as the walls around them glowed white with kanji. Outside, the ship shot off a burst of energy that soared through the air, passing through a nearby mountain with ease. In a bay. You were right, Shikamaru. There they are, said Kakashi as he, Shikamaru, Shino, and Neji all stood opposing the 8 ships in the bay that housed the Sky Ninjas. Well, it was simple math, said Shikamaru lazily as he got ready. Are you guys ready to start phase 1 of the plan? Asked Shikamaru as the group nodded their heads. Just as the group prepared to move, a giant beam of energy flew over them and into the bay that annihilated the entire Sky Ninja fleet in an instant. What the hell was that? Asked Shikamaru as the beam had taken out Sky Ninja's entire army. I don't know, but I hope that whatever it is doesn't target Konoha, said Kakashi as the group around him nodded. Back in the Sky Fortress. Do you see? That's the full power of Sky Country. The power to obliterate anything through the power of the Ankavantian. Once the 5 great shinobi nations have been destroyed, the Great Sky Empire shall rule the world, said Shino inside the Ribi. I've had enough of his talking. Just take my chakra and destroy him, said Kurama in Naruto's head as he funneled his chakra through Naruto's system. I got this, Sasuke, said Naruto as an orange cloak of chakra surrounded him. Naruto had 6 tails of orange chakra swaying behind him as he channeled a Rasengan. What is this? Said Shino. Why can't the Ribi absorb your chakra? Is the 9 tails that powerful? Naruto didn't answer, instead choosing to appear in front of the Ribi in a shunshin with a Rasengan bigger than any other in his hand. Joe Odama Rasengan Ultra Big Ball Rasengan, said Naruto as he pushed the jutsu into the Ribi. The Ribi attempted to absorb Naruto's Rasengan, but due to the sheer size of it and the fact that it was powered by Kurama's chakra, it could only take the force of Naruto's attack. Naruto's Rasengan blasted the Ribi out of the confines of that yellow substance as it was sent careening back into the wall. That was easy, said Naruto, letting his Kyuubi cloak vanish as he landed on the ground with Sasuke walking up beside him. I thought you didn't want to do all the heavy lifting, said Sasuke as Naruto merely shrugged. Kyuubi doesn't have the patience to wait for things. He'd rather I blow everything to a million pieces. It's really a pain to hear him on Anbu missions that require stealth, said Naruto. Right before Sasuke could speak again, Shino's voice sounded out. Did you think you had won? Well, you brats don't understand a damn thing. Now that the Ribi's been released from its reins, even I don't know what's about to happen, said Shino. Rat, ox, dog, clap, boar, thought Naruto, running through those seals quickly before slamming a palm on the ground. Once Naruto slammed his palm on the ground, a sealing formula spread out from Naruto's hand to underneath the Ribi. Sasuke noticed that it had the Uzumaki swirl inside of the seal directly underneath the Ribi. Uzumaki Fuinjutsu, Uzumaki sealing technique, said Naruto as the area under the Ribi began to spark and eventually drag the Ribi into its sealing formula. That should do it. I was sick of hearing that guy talk. Sasuke stared at Naruto at seeing that he used such a technique. Forget it. I don't even care anymore about the tricks up your sleeve. I'm sure there's something else up there as well, said Sasuke as Naruto laughed sheepishly. Just wait until you see Sage Mode. Then I'll blow your mind, thought Naruto as he then said. I'm about to blow this place up. If you feel like staying, cool, if not I'd suggest leaving because it's about to get ugly. Taju Moku Bunshin no Jutsu, multiple wood clone technique, said Naruto as 50 Narutos now stood in the small chamber with the original Naruto and Sasuke. Get to it, guys. Why the hell do we have to listen to you? Said one of Naruto's clones as the other 49 gasped simultaneously. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Naruto reverted the clone to wood as he looked at the rest of his copies. Anybody else wants to know why you should listen to me? Said Naruto as the other 49 shook their head and went off to do the duties of destroying the ship. Should we use Rasengan? Asked one of the clones. Another clone shook his head. I don't really think it matters. I mean that guy's using simple explosive notes. I think I'll just blow myself up, said the clone as he detonated, killing himself and the clone he was talking to. Sasuke and the original Naruto had both taken off to the outside of the ship as they weren't planning to stick around with the destructive clones. Upon getting outside, Naruto and Sasuke noticed a boat filled with civilians and a red-haired girl outside that boat. Hello, said Naruto as he noticed a lever beside him. I'm guessing that if I pull this lever you all would be sent off this ship, right? Seeing the people on the boat nod their heads, Naruto put his hand on the lever. Stop! Came the shout of the red-haired girl, halting Naruto from pulling the lever. Where's my sensei? I can't find him. Who are you? Asked Naruto. I am Amaru. I'm looking for my sensei, Shino. Have you seen him? He's a tall man with white hair and started Amaru until Naruto cut her off. Get on the ship. I'm about to blow this fortress up and you guys need to get to safety, said Naruto as Amaru looked at him with an angered look. What? Blow up the fortress? But my sensei's body is in here. I need to get started, Amaru again, only to be snatched by her collar and roughly thrown back into the boat behind her. Shut up, said Sasuke having thrown the girl into the boat. Your sensei was a madman and tried to kill thousands of innocent people. Amaru looked up shocked at that announcement as Naruto pulled the lever, sending the boat and the people off the ship safely. As soon as the boat got clear of the fortress, an explosion rocked the fortress that split off a huge chunk of it. You do realize that you would have killed them had they not been already exiting the ship, said Sasuke as Naruto put his head down in shame. Naruto then straightened up as several more explosions rang out through the fortress. Yeah, but that didn't happen, so let's not worry about it. I'll see you in 6 months, said Naruto as he jumped off the fortress along with Sasuke. Sasuke activated the cursed seal on his neck to give himself wings to fly as Naruto plummeted at a rapid pace. Just as the two got far enough away, the entire fortress blew up thanks to the combined efforts of Naruto's clones. Naruto was still free falling to the ground as he looked ready to splatter onto the ground below. Naruto clapped his hands together as he approached the ground. Futon, Daytopper, wind style. Great breakthrough, said Naruto, slowing his descent by creating a burst of air toward the ground. Still too fast, said Naruto as he was still going to get hurt despite slowing his falling speed with his jutsu. This'll hurt. Right before Naruto hit the ground, he was snagged up by the tongue of a familiar toad. Gamabunta, said Naruto, recognizing the toad immediately. Jiraiya stood on top of his toad boss's head as he smirked at his apprentice. Nice going, Gaki. Though you could have found a better way to get off of that ship. But you were never one for the aftermath of your ingenious plans, said Jiraiya as Naruto smiled at his sensei. Oh well, we're all safe and we've destroyed the Sky Country ninjas again, said Naruto as the Anchor Vantian crumbled into the ocean in pieces due to Naruto's clone's efforts. Boss. Your grip is a little too tight, I can't get out, said Naruto, struggling to get out of Gamabunta's tongue. I know, said Gamabunta as he looked at Naruto with an Oni mask appearing behind him. What's this I hear from Gamatatsu, that you're the one stealing all of my sake? Naruto's look turned to one of fear as he realized why Gamabunta hadn't let him go of him yet. Gamatatsu. That treacherous toad. How could he? He's supposed to be one of my familiars, how could he turn on me like that? You should have given the boy candy, said Gamabunta as he prepared to give Naruto divine punishment for his stolen sake. Gamabunta pulled the tanto off his side only to notice that Naruto had replaced himself with a wooden dummy. Get back here, boy, shouted Gamabunta as he chased a fleeing Naruto around the small island they were on. Oh well, Gaki. You got about another hour until his summoning time is up. That'll be good exercise and training for you, said Jiraiya as he grew a lecherous grin. Jiraiya took out what used to be Sarutobi's crystal ball. After channeling some chakra through the crystal ball, a view of the Hokage's office showed up. Hello, Heim. Tsunade was in the process of walking out of her office after the long day and fight against the Sky Ninja. Tsunade had been told about all the casualties from the day and was saddened to see that so many of her shinobi perished. But they had all fought for their village and she couldn't be more proud that they had finished it before any more people could be hurt or killed. Tsunade walked out of her office into the private bathroom located in the Hokage Tower. I need a shower after today's events, said Tsunade as she took off her green haori. Tsunade was just about to take off her top when she felt a disturbance in the room around her. Tsunade looked in a specific direction as she grew angry when she realized what it was. Oh no, said Jiraiya as he saw Tsunade looking directly at him with a sign saying she'd kill him if he didn't disrupt that connection immediately. I think it'll be worth the impending beatdown. Jiraiya then saw Tsunade mouth the words, it won't be worth it, and Jiraiya immediately realized that she was right. Ah well, maybe next time, said Jiraiya putting the crystal ball up, all the while ignoring his apprentice's screams of agony from being squished by Gamabunta. Maybe next time. The sun was rising over Konoha as a lone figure sat atop the Hokage's mountain. The figure looked like the spitting image of the Yondaime Hokage with only whisker marks and violet eyes to distinguish between the two. It was Naruto sitting atop his father's stone head wearing his Anbu uniform, though his mask was situated on the side of his head. The young Anbu captain woke up early this morning to clear his head, just like every morning since the Sky Ninja raid. Naruto watched Konoha beginning to come to life with the start of the day. Businesses opening, people entering the streets, and the occasional ninja or two scampering to their missions. A few weeks had passed since the Sky Ninja raid and Naruto was still thinking about his conversation with Sasuke. Flashback, 3 weeks ago. Tsukuyomi, Moon Reader, thought Sasuke. In a pitch-black world. Naruto was dragged into a pitch-black world where his body was inverted in colors. Naruto looked around the world slightly as he noticed he was in a genjutsu. Sasuke knows that I can easily get out of genjutsu. Even with this technique, I'd still be able to get out of this, thought Naruto as he channeled his chakra. The world cracked immensely but did not break. Naruto was impressed as he channeled his chakra once more. The pitch-black world held firm for a second time. Naruto was prepared to do it again and again until he broke the genjutsu, but Sasuke's voice stopped him. Naruto, wait. There's something I need to tell you, said Sasuke, appearing in the field next to Naruto beside his Susanoo. Do you know the reason why I left the village? Because if not, I'll tell you right now, as I hope you remember your promise of helping me. Yes, I remember what I promised you I'd do whenever you went after Itachi. I figured there was a reason that you left the village, since that squad of Anbu attacked me before I could return with you, said Naruto before asking the question he knew Sasuke wanted him to. Was it an S-rank mission that Bar-chan sent you on? You're right that it was an S-rank mission, but Hokage-sama didn't sanction it, said Sasuke as Naruto looked confused. What do you know about Root? Never heard of it. Root is an officially disbanded branch of Konoha's Anbu founded by Danzo Shimura. We in Root carry out missions that Danzo believes will benefit Konoha, but only in total anonymity and without the village's authorization. Missions that wouldn't normally be done, as some of them are very dirty and could paint a bad image of Konoha. It's a very secret organization and only the Hokage and the village elders knew of its continued existence. If it's a secret, then why would you tell me about it? Said Naruto before adding, and if it is so secret, I'm sure there would be countermeasures to ensure no one would talk. You're right, normally there would be a cursed seal on a member of Root, but due to the mission I was sent on, he took it off so that I wouldn't be found out. Plus, he never figured I'd meet you in a situation like this, said Sasuke, answering the last part of Naruto's question first. I'm telling you this now because of Danzo. The reason I joined Root was due to his promise of helping me grow strong enough to face Itachi and learning the truth of his actions during the massacre. It also gave me a way to protect Konoha. But Danzo is not someone I trust, so I'll need assistance from someone just in case he ever turns his back on me. So what is this mission exactly? To get in with Orochimaru and bring back any secrets he may have learned in his stint away from Konoha. While also leaking back information to Konoha to use for sacking his bases. Said Naruto as Sasuke nodded his head. I was tasked as the leader of an Anbu squad assigned with dealing with the destruction. I did always wonder how we got their location, as they were placed in areas of extreme secrecy and difficulty to access to the outside world. Orochimaru may be a twisted individual, but he is also wise, and as such, Konoha may have never found any of his bases where he carried out his experiments. That's why I've been doing it in secret all these years, said Sasuke before turning gravely serious. But that's not all of my mission. The end part of it is to assassinate the Sannin. Naruto's face became more serious hearing this. Why not just kill him now or beforehand? I'm sure you're strong enough. I can feel it. Not to mention the power of those eyes you hold, said Naruto as Sasuke shook his head slightly. Had I killed him before now, I wouldn't have been able to gather information on his bases and his cursed seal, plus things like it. If we're going to kill Orochimaru, then we will erase him with finality. Leave no way for him to return or any of his experiments to freely move around. That makes sense. Someone like Orochimaru is bound to do all he can to ensure he can never truly die. Which is why I'll need your help. There's no way Orochimaru couldn't know that I'd be attempting to kill him. I'm guessing he likes the reward more than the risk. Of course I'll be there, said Naruto as he then realized something. Speaking of risk, how is your eyesight? How could you know about that? Asked Sasuke as Naruto shrugged. I have my ways, said Naruto as he was referencing his time spent with Hashirama, who told him all about the Uchiha clan and the Mangekyo Sharingan. You've been using those eyes, and from the way you immediately placed me under this genjutsu, I'm guessing you found a cure of sorts. You're well informed about my clan's secrets, said Sasuke with a small smirk. My eyes are fine, for now. You're helping me with that. I'm helping. How could I be? Said Naruto until he felt something very familiar to him inside of Sasuke. How? Do you know about the legend of the Sage of Six Paths and the Jubi 10 Tails? Said Sasuke as Naruto shook his head. It seems history is forgotten as time passes, but there is a relic that showed me the truth and the reality of this world. One that was written by the sage himself. Only those who possess visual prowess like myself can find out the truth from the tablet. The sage was able to defeat the Jubi, but as it was an immortal creature he could not kill it, leaving him with only one option. Naruto pieced the puzzle together. Only one option to stop a giant unkillable beast. Kind of familiar to the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. The sage sealed the beast and created a Jinchuriki. Yes, into himself. Time passed and the sage's life was coming to an end, so to save the world from the eventual resurgence of the Jubi, the sage divided its chakra up into 9 different pieces. Those different pieces later came to be known as the Beiyu, such as the Kyuubi. The sage then sealed the husk of the Jubi into what is now known as the moon before passing away. If the sage could do something like that on his deathbed, then how powerful could he be? Asked Naruto as Sasuke shook his head. I have no clue, he was the first ninja born with chakra and also Jinchuriki of the most powerful entity ever known, his power could be limitless. Plus he is also our ancestor, the power of the Senju and Uchiha birthed directly from him, said Sasuke as Naruto was listening intently. The Senju and Uchiha were originally one in the same inside of the Sage of Six Paths. The sage had 2 sons, one the ancestor of the Senju and the other the ancestor of the Uchiha clan. The Senju were given the body of the sage consisting of his vitality and physical energy while the Uchihas inherited the mind consisting of his visual prowess and spiritual energy. Naruto continued putting the pieces together in his head. If what you're saying is true then that makes us very distant relatives. And if those are my cells in that patch on your shoulder, it must lessen the effect on your eyes while also helping you recover faster due to my chakra and life force, said Naruto as Sasuke nodded. When did you acquire something like that from me? During our battle at the Valley of the End. Despite losing that last struggle, my Chidori did pierce your shoulder slightly, granting me access to your cells, which contained healing powers. But don't think that just because I have access to your chakra doesn't mean I can use any of your abilities or that my eyes don't lose their sight when I use them. It just lessens the effect considerably to keep me from getting too blind before I find the solution to fix my eyes permanently. Your brother's eyes? Questioned Naruto knowingly as Sasuke shook his head in amusement. You know way too much, Naruto. But you're right. However, our time here is coming to an end. I'm not too good at using this genjutsu and can only advert time by a few minutes. Can I count on your assistance in helping me? Asked Sasuke as Naruto sat for a little while contemplating Sasuke's question. Naruto then stood while putting a fist out. Sasuke grew a slight smile as he fist bumped his best friend. One more thing. Hokage-sama seemed to know about the plan since she only sent that group of ninjas with you. I'd check that if I were you. Flashback end. It all makes sense. Yugao-senpai had just come back to the village and could have easily been sent out in the retrieval of Sasuke. Yet Bar-chan sent out 3 genins and 2 rookie chunins to retrieve him without any knowledge of the opponent's skills. It's hard to believe that Bar-chan didn't even feel like telling me about this or even root. She probably knew something like this would happen when I was talking to her that night about how Sasuke was acting fishy, thought Naruto as he felt a slight breeze flow through the air, causing his hair to sway. An Anbu appeared kneeling on the mountain behind him. Yes. Gama Teiko, Hokage-sama requests your presence, said the Anbu as he vanished right after relaying the message. Naruto nodded before vanishing in a shunshin to the Hokage Tower. He came up through the floorboards of Tsunde's office as he addressed his leader. Hokage-sama, said Gama as Tsunade looked up to see her favorite Anbu. Hello Gama, please take off your mask as it won't be needed for what I'm about to ask of you, said Tsunade as Naruto took off his mask and placed it back on the side of his head. Good, now your code name for this mission will be Sake. There was a moment of silence as Naruto and Tsunade stared at each other with straight faces. Several seconds passed until Naruto's lip quivered upward slightly. Ha, I win this round Gaki. That's another point for me, said Tsunade as she marked down a tally mark next to her name in a book she retrieved from her drawer. That now puts me in the lead, brat. Damn, I'll get you next time, said Naruto as he then slumped in the chair in front of his aunt. So what did you need me for? Oh right, I need you to go to Suna for another visit. Suna? Why Sunagakure? More alliance talks that won't go through, that haven't gone through since their failed invasion. Asked Naruto as he felt a familiar presence approaching the room. A presence of the Jinchuriki kind. Wait, she's here. You and a representative from our alliance with Kumo are going to go to Sunagakure. Suna appointed Akage a little over 6 months ago and he has sent a request to finalize the alliance. And I'm sending you to deliver our response while Kumo is sending someone as per the Konoha-Kumo alliance agreement, informed Tsunade as a knock came at the door. Come in. The door opened acknowledging Tsunade's request. Naruto turned and his pupils dilated at who he saw. Hello, Hokage Dono. Hello, Naruto-kun. The greeting came from a sweet voice that Naruto considered his favorite. Hey Yugi-chan, said Naruto cutting off Tsunade, who should have went first but realized Naruto was excited to see his girlfriend. You're the Kumo representative. Of course I am, said Yugito as she looked to the third blonde in the room. Are we ready to go Hokage Dono? I'm guessing Naruto-kun will be Konoha's representative. Tsunade nodded her head as she took out a scroll and flung it at Naruto. Yes ma'am. Have fun you two and please get there safely. Just because the Akatsuki isn't scheduled for a few months, doesn't mean they can't surprise us, said Tsunade as Naruto caught the fast-thrown scroll. See you when you come back. Naruto nodded his head as he escorted Yugito out of the office. As they were walking out, Sakura walked past the two with a greeting. Tsunade-sama, are you sure it's wise to send Naruto on that mission with Yugito without backup? They could get captured by the enemy or something else. They could also, you know, they might, stammered Sakura as Tsunade halted her apprentice with a hand. I know it's dangerous, Sakura. But I don't think there is anyone who could take out Naruto. Let alone Naruto and Yugito together. Even Itachi Uchiha and his partner would have problems, said Tsunade as she went back to her paperwork. And about that last part, Naruto's been acting weird since the Sky Ninja assault and this will be perfect for him. Maybe Yugito will help get him out of his funk. Sakura nodded her head at her sensei's words. Wait what? Land of Wind 2 days later. Mokuton, Shichuka no Jutsu wood style, 4-pillar house technique. Wood rose out of the ground in tall pillars, molding itself into a perfect wooden house. Naruto picked Yugito up bridal style as he kicked open the door to the newly built house. Naruto stood with Yugito in his arms as he then looked at his girlfriend. Yugito gave a hum before shaking her head. No, I don't feel it, said Yugito as Naruto nodded his head in agreement. I know right, something's off, said Naruto setting Yugito down while closing the door to the newly built house. I don't know what it is but it just doesn't seem like it's right. Ah well, I'm sure with enough practice, I'll get it down. Yugito nodded while taking off the cloak she was wearing to keep the sun off her skin. Yugito and Naruto entered the Land of Wind and were only a day away from Sunagakure. The two Jinchuriki decided to rest for the remainder of the day as they were running for the majority of it racing to Suna. The shift between the Land of Fire and Land of Wind happened immediately and the landscape was unforgiving, requiring the use of a cloak to shield one's self from the blazing sun and harsh conditions of the desert. Yugito walked into the main room of the newly created house while Naruto walked off into the bathroom to shower. As Yugito unpacked her belongings from the scroll in her ninja pouch, she looked around at the house Naruto created just now in mere seconds. Naruto-kun's Mokuton ability has improved, thought Yugito looking at the detail of the house compared to the one he created over a year ago in Kumo. I mean this house is amazing and it seems like he barely even put effort into making it. This is something royals would live in. Mokuton was simply an amazing Kekai Genkai. The power to build or the power to destroy. It had no equal. Naruto could subdue beings as powerful as the Buu or spawn beauty such as this house if he so chose. It was incredible. You're right, kitten. You're totally right, came the voice of Yugito's Buu companion, Matatabi. He even had the decency to create a queen-sized bed for you too. I know you've been wanting to finally claim him ever since this trip started. I've heard your thoughts so don't even try to lie about it. Yugito smiled internally at her Buu as she heard the door to the bathroom open. Yugito turned her head to see Naruto walking out of the bathroom in a simple shirt, boxes with faces of toads everywhere, and his nightcap that had the design of a toad swallowing the top part of his head. Yugito chuckled slightly seeing him in that ridiculous attire again. Naruto stretched and yawned as he looked at the amused Yugito. Yugi-chan, I'll be here if you need me. I'm tired, said Naruto as he plopped face first onto one side of the bed. With Naruto laying face down on the bed, he didn't notice Yugito's smirk as she slipped into the bathroom. Naruto laid with his face buried snugly into the bed for about 3 minutes until he heard a voice in his head. Naruto, said Kurama in Naruto's head. Naruto didn't move outwardly but grunted internally to acknowledge that he was listening. When are you going to confront that Senju lady about what that Uchiha brat told you? I will, Kurama. In due time. Well, hurry it up then. You're getting on my nerves with the way you've been acting lately. You're limiting yourself by having that cloud over you for the past few weeks. I know. Even Yugi-chan has noticed. It's just hard. To think that someone you trust did something like that without telling you is tough to swallow, said Naruto back to Kurama. Kurama took what Naruto said into consideration. You're right. But why not hear her side of the story? Find out why she made the decision she made. That way you can finally get over what's been plaguing you since seeing that Uchiha boy again. Kurama, when did you get all emotional and begin to help me with my personal problems? Asked Naruto as he then smirked into the bed he was laying in. You must really like me. I knew we were friends. ... Kurama, said Naruto to his Bayu. Did he cut the connection on me? I never knew he could do that. So that's what that feels like. I guess I'll talk to him later. Hello Naruto-kun, came the sultry voice of Yugito as the door to the bathroom closed. Yugito was dressed in one of Naruto's t-shirts that had the Senju clan crest laid on the back with her white necklace that matched Naruto's green one. Due to Naruto being bigger than Yugito, the shirt Yugito was wearing only hung down low enough to cover Yugito's backside, where you could see a pretty pair of blue panties peeking underneath. Mind if I join you? Yugito had never seen Naruto move so fast. Naruto heard the word, I, followed by the word, Joan, and already concluded that she was going to ask to join him. Naruto was now under the bedsheets, lifting part of it to allow Yugito entrance. Yugito crawled into the bed happily as she snuggled her way over to Naruto in the middle of the bed. You're warm, said Yugito with a contented sigh as she nuzzled her way into Naruto a little further. So I've been told, said Naruto pulling Yugito in further with one of his arms. One of the many perks I guess when you're dealing with a guy with a near-omnipotent Bayu resting in his stomach. Or mind, since I go into my mindscape to talk with him. I don't know, one of the two. Speaking of Bijuas, it's almost time for the Akatsuki to come around, right? Naruto gave the girl a nod. Just about. Jiraiya-sensei said that'd be making their move in 3 years and if he's right, we have a little over 4 months left to prepare for them, said Naruto as he grabbed Yugito a little closer unconsciously. It's even worse because since you have the two tails within you, they'll come after you during the first part of their hunt. They'll try to gather the Bayu from 1 to 9, in that order if everything is correct with Sensei's intel. Meaning you'll be one of their first targets. But don't worry, I won't let them get you. Don't worry about me. I'm sure that anything they could throw at me wouldn't be enough to take me down. Especially if I go full transformation and I'm sure I'll have backup anyway. Yugito internally smiled at Naruto's tightened grip. He was worried about her but, she was worried about him too. You need to worry about yourself. Jiraiya-sama also said that the leader of that group is supposed to come after you. Anybody that can lead a person like Itachi Uchiha and several other S-rank shinobi has to be powerful. If what I fear is true then we will need to worry, said Kurama as Naruto listened intently. If they're gathering all 9 Bijuas then it can only mean that either they'll use us as a weapon or they'll combine us into something more powerful. Something more powerful. I thought you were the most powerful. What creature could be more powerful than you? Questioned Naruto paying no heed to anything but Kurama. The Jubi that Sasuke talked about. Yes, the progenitor of this world and the original tailed beast. You still haven't told me about this Jubi ever since I learned about its existence. What about it makes it so tough to handle? Started Naruto only to be cut from his conversation by Yugito poking him in the cheek. Oi, Yugi-chan, what was that for? Yugito displayed a cute frown. You were spaced out and ignoring me. I thought you were going to protect me from the Akatsuki. You can't do that if you're spacing out and talking to your Bayu. You're not even focused on me. I am focused on you, said Naruto as Yugito began to position herself on top of his lap facing him. You sure you're focused on me? Said Yugito in a playful manner. Naruto smiled a little as he leaned his head forward so that his and Yugito's lips were a breath away. I'm sure, said Naruto as he leaned his head further, right into Yugito's lips. Naruto and Yugito were grinning slightly as they continued to kiss one another with roaming hands. Yugito started to take off Naruto's shirt as they eventually ended the kiss to get it all the way off. Yugito tossed Naruto's shirt, leaving only his necklace there as she ran a hand down his chiseled upper body. We've been alone for 2 whole days, started Yugito, kissing Naruto some more before breaking away. Yet, we still haven't done anything. What did you have in mind? Questioned Naruto as he felt Yugito's hand reach the top of his boxers. Yugito's eyes were locked firmly on Naruto's boxers as she put a hand inside the waistband. Yugito licked her lips in anticipation as she then looked back up at Naruto. Well, started Yugito as she began to pull up on Naruto's boxers. Before Yugito could make a move to pull him down, Naruto grabbed her hand and stopped her. What do you not want? With a loud crash, 9 figures came flying in through the house's window with weapons drawn at the 2 Jinchuriki. 9 masked individuals as one of them pulled down his veil to address the 2. Sorry to interrupt what you were doing but, said the man as he moved his oversized sword closer. We'll be taking all of your valuables. So please don't make this harder than it has to be. You have got to be kidding me, said Yugito with a frown as the man laughed. Oh, don't worry pretty lady. We're going to kill your lover there quick and without pain. But you, my dear, will be taken back with us to become our personal plaything. I'm not worried about that. Actually, I'm not worried at all. It's just you guys are serious mood killers, said Yugito as she moved off of Naruto. One of the men approached Naruto immediately, and with a swing of his cleaver, Naruto's head came clean off. But instead of blood, only straw came out. Is that a dummy? Said the leader as he realized that it was a replacement. They're shinobis. Naruto appeared behind one of the men in a shunshin as he pressed firmly into one of the man's vital organs with a tri-pronged kunai. Yugito moved swiftly to stab the one next to Naruto's with one of her extended fingernails into his heart. Naruto kicked the man off his kunai before he slammed a hand into the floorboard. A huge seal appeared underneath the house, making the ground rumble slightly as Naruto placed an arm around Yugito before performing a shunshin to exit the house with her in tow. Get out! Shouted the leader as he and 2 others managed to leap out of the house in time. The other 4 weren't as lucky as the house was swallowed whole by the appearance of a giant Venus flytrap. What the hell is that thing? Asked the leader as he looked at the huge plant in front of him that appeared to be looking at him despite not having eyes. The leader then looked to the right to see Naruto and Yugito across the clearing. Man, I was just about to lose my virginity. And you all just had to show up, said Naruto as he held the snake seal. Trees sprouted from the ground around the 3 men that were left as they were held snug in the branch's grip. Who are you? The leader gulped nervously. I'm just a thief. I don't even know how to use a sword, but I never meant any real harm, said the leader, still struggling to get out of the chakra-suppressing trees. Before Naruto could respond, however, Yugito did for him by blasting a giant wall of blue flames at the helpless men, burning them alive. Bandits. Stealing from people and threatening to take a woman and use her against her will, said Yugito as she turned toward Naruto. That's who they are. Naruto nodded his head, not caring that Yugito just killed the treacherous men. He was sad that people died but didn't feel sorry for them because of what they may have done or planned to do. By the way, said Yugito pointing toward Naruto's plant summon. Your plant just ate all of our belongings and the house we were in. Naruto's plant creature spat out several scrolls and Naruto's toad wallet as it disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto looked sheepish as the stuff spat out by his summoning was covered in a thick slime. So does that mean we can't continue what we were about to do? Started Naruto only to see Yugito's look. Yeah, bad timing. Don't worry, I'll replace all of that, somehow. At least it saved the treaty scrolls. Sunagakure one day later. Dude, that's the orange fox and Kumo's hell cat. Said Asuna Chunin, who was situated inside of a dune that acted as a gate for people entering Suna. And you said this job sucked. The other Suna Chunin in the dune beside him could only nod dumbly as he watched the retreating figures of the 2 Jinchuriki. Naruto was dressed in the standard Konoha uniform, except with a short-sleeve shirt on instead of a long one. He still wore black instead of blue as his pants ran into his black and white shinobi sandals. Yugito was wearing her normal attire but added the one strap, white flak jacket of her village. They were both wearing black forehead protectors that displayed their respective villages as they walked through the streets of Suna. Naruto-kun, said Yugito, noticing the villagers' stares at the two of them and the stares of others as well. We're being watched. Of course we are, Yugi-chan. Well, not me in particular because I've been here several times before, but definitely you, said Naruto as he saw what was Suna's equivalent to the Hokage Tower. Though I do wonder who they picked as a cage. Not to mention the fact that I can finally help Gaara out. Gaara? Questioned Yugito as the two continued walking despite the constant stares from the villagers. You don't know who Gaara is? Suna no Gaara, Gaara of the Sand. You've really never heard of him? Asked Naruto as Yugito shook her head no. Well, I guess you probably wouldn't since Suna isn't that much of a world power or even relatively close to Kumo. But Gaara's the Jinchuriki of the Ichibi, Shukaku. Wow, another Jinchuriki. And finally the one weaker than me. Every other Jinchuriki I've met has a Bayu with more tails than me. Finally, the Jinchuriki whose ass I can kick when it comes to raw power. No, my dear Yugi-chan. I wouldn't say that, well I guess you can relatively when just speaking of tails. But Gaara's extremely strong and then you have to remember that we're in a desert. Surrounded by miles of sand which Gaara can control at a whim, informed Naruto getting Yugito's eyebrows to raise. Trying to beat Gaara in Suna is like trying to light a match underwater. It's futile really. Even I would get my ass handed to me out here if he went all out. You'd get your ass handed to you out here by me as well, came the voice of Kankuro, standing outside of the spherical structure that held the Kazekige's office. Kankuro smirked as he put a fist out for Naruto to bump, which Naruto easily did. And I assume you're Ni Yugito, liaison for Kumogakure. I am Kankuro, welcome to Sunagakure. Yugito shook hands with Kankuro, returning his greeting. Naruto then noticed something that was off. Hey, Kankuro, where's Temari-chan and Gaara? Asked Naruto as Kankuro escorted the two into the building. Kankuro chuckled at that question. Temari is out on a mission at the moment and I'm guessing you haven't heard about Gaara. Said Kankuro as Naruto shook his head wondering what he could mean. Did something happen to Gaara? Well. Hello, Naruto and Yugito-san, I am the god I'm Kazekige, Gaara, said Gaara as Naruto's jaw dropped to see Gaara in the ceremonial green robes of Suna's cage. Welcome to Suna. Yugito greeted Gaara with a bow at the young cage as Naruto continued to gawk at the Ichibi Jinchuriki. You're kidding right? Asked Naruto as Kankuro laughed and slapped a hand on his back. When did this happen? I was here less than a year ago and you all still didn't have a cage yet and now they've selected you. Yes, I was given the honor of cage shortly after you left the last time. The people have accepted me and I am proud to serve as their cage, said Gaara turning around looking out of his office at his village. I'd gladly give my life to protect them. Naruto couldn't help but smile at his once enemy turned friend. After the failed invasion of Konoha, Suna surrendered immediately and afterward began the process of an alliance with Konoha. Naruto became the messenger between the two villages along with Temari as they continued discussing their alliance. And in that time, Naruto became good friends with Kankuro and Temari, but even better friends with his fellow Jinchuriki, Gaara. Naruto helped Gaara live for a better purpose other than proving his existence through killing, he helped him find something worth living for. The alliance talks between Konoha and Suna continued ever since the invasion because due to Suna not having a cage, an alliance necessarily couldn't be finalized. But now with Gaara as the new Kazekige, a true alliance could actually be feasible. And with Kumo there due to their alliance with Konoha, 3 of the 5 great villages would be at peace with each other. Naruto smiled more at the thought that he was seeing Hashirama's dream coming true, one village at a time. Gaara then turned back around as he looked toward the 2 other Jinchuriki in the room. I'm sure you two are tired from your trip here. We have set up accommodations for your stay here for the night and any night after that until we decide on the alliance between our villages. All expenses are paid as you will be on my tab, so enjoy yourselves here, said Gaara getting smiles from his fellow Jinchuriki. But of course I'll need the scrolls sent by your respective cages first. Naruto and Yugito nodded their heads as Naruto took off the huge scroll on his back. After opening the scroll, Naruto held the tiger seal making the scroll puff and revealed 2 other scrolls, a red one from Konoha and a yellow one from Kumo. Gaara nodded his head as Naruto handed him both scrolls. Thank you and enjoy your time in Suna. I'll get you a response after convening with my council, said Gaara as Kankuro offered to take them to their hotel. Also, are you able to do what you promised me now, Naruto? Naruto turned his head around and only smiled. I can do it tonight if you're willing. Tonight it is. Until then, said Gaara as he opened the 2 scrolls given to him and began to read their contents. Naruto and Yugito made their way out of the building following Kankuro all the way. Later that night, Yugito walked into the hotel room provided by Gaara as Naruto walked in with a shopping bag behind her. That Naruto was followed by 16 other Narutos as they were all carrying shopping bags filled with things for Yugito. After placing their bag down, that Naruto would then puff away to allow the next Naruto to do the same. Well, I think that replaces all of my belongings, plus I got something extra, said Yugito as she looked at the original Naruto walking in. Naruto was holding up his now empty toad wallet, Gama-chan, as he cried anime tears. Gaara said he'd pay for everything yet you made me pay, said Naruto sobbing all the while. I lost a whole S-ranked mission pay. It wasn't Gaara's fault that my belongings were swallowed by a plant, said Yugito as Naruto continued to sob. After a few minutes, Naruto straightened up as he and Yugito felt a presence rapidly approaching. Sand swirled into their room as Gaara appeared in Asuna Shunshin. Naruto nodded at Gaara as he then followed Gaara out of the window back to the Kazekage building. After walking through the doors, Gaara took Naruto into the bunker located at the base of the building. The room was empty except for a metal bed with restraints on it. You ready? Asked Naruto as Gaara took the good off his back and the upper part of his clothing, leaving him bare-chested. Gaara then laid down on the table as he blew out a breath. If you are, said Gaara as Naruto tied down his arms and legs with the restraints on the bed. Naruto created a wood clone as he smiled. Of course I am. If I succeed then you'll be able to sleep at night without the threat of losing your mind. If not, I'll just unleash a Buu hellbent on destroying everything everywhere, and since we're in this little room, you and I will be squished and killed without even being able to stop him. No pressure, said Naruto with a grin. Naruto then looked to his clone. Let's get to it. Naruto's clone jumped back several feet as it sat cross-legged on the ground facing Gaara and the original Naruto. Wooden pillars grew around the clone as it placed a palm out toward Gaara. The kanji for sit appeared in the clone's palm as the pillars reached maximum height. A firm nod from his replica later and Naruto ran through 7 hand seals before placing a hand over the seal that housed Shukaku inside of Gaara. Fuinjutsu, kite sealing technique, released, said Naruto as a burst of energy rolled through the room as Gaara's seal glowed and began to slowly recede on itself. Sand began to swirl around violently after Naruto released the seal as Shukaku began to attempt to free himself. The wood clone's hand began to shake as it tried to keep the presence of Shukaku suppressed while his original kept his palm on Gaara's seal until it receded fully. Eventually, Gaara's seal got to the bare minimum without releasing the full might of Shukaku before Naruto put his other hand in a half-ram seal. Shishio Fuan, 4 symbols seal. A circle of kanji appeared where Gaara's seal once was. The circle of kanji had 4 points sticking out of it at 4 different corners as the Uzumaki swirl appeared in the middle of the kanji. The seal glowed for several seconds until the sand that had been whipping around without control dropped to the ground harmlessly. The seal turned black as Naruto smiled while a bead of sweat dripped from his forehead. The entire process had taken a little over 3 minutes as Naruto put his hands up in victory. Naruto promised Gaara on a visit to Suna, after seeing Gaara attempting to change for the better, that he'd look into making Gaara's seal better. Naruto noticed that Gaara's seal was only good enough to hold Shukaku in but not protect Gaara from his influence. And after 2 years of seal work with clones and studying Gaara's seal, Naruto finally could create a better seal for his friend. Naruto and his clone then shared an air high five as the original Naruto fell back onto the sand that now occupied the floor. His clone made the wood it created go back into the ground as it dissolved into wood itself. Naruto fell into a state of unconsciousness as doing Gaara's seal took a lot out of him. Gaara woke up an hour later as he looked around to see Naruto out cold laying down in his sand. I can't feel Shukaku like before. He did it, said Gaara as he realized he was still restrained to the table. Sand rose out of his gourd as it broke his restraints to allow its wielder freedom. Seems my control over sand is still as good. Gaara sat up as he placed back on his clothes and gourd before picking Naruto up with the sand he was lying on and carrying him back to his hotel room. Gaara entered their room as he placed Naruto on his bed before leaving. Several minutes later, Yugito stepped out of the bathroom to see Naruto passed out on the bed. Naruto-kun, said Yugito as Naruto didn't move in the slightest. Yugito sighed as she wouldn't be able to have her way with Naruto this night either. What does a girl have to do around here to get some? 2 days later. Futon, Kamaitaki no Jutsu, wind style, wind scythe technique came the voice of Temari as she let loose a mighty torrent of wind across the training ground she was in. The wind carried dust and other particles as it ripped its way toward her opponents. Mokuton, Mokujo Heiki, wood style, wood domed wall, thought Naruto, holding the snake seal as a circular wall of wooden pillars protected him and his partner from the violent winds. Once the wind began to die down, Naruto let his wall recede as his partner ran through several hand seals. Kaiten, Daienden, fire style, great flame bullet, said Yugito, holding the tiger seal as she sent out a huge wall of flames at Temari. Due to the dying wind still in the area, the flames grew to great heights as they raced toward Temari. Before the fire could reach Temari, a massive sand wall appeared in front of her to block the great flames. The sand wall fell to show Gaara standing near Temari with his hand up. Naruto placed his hands in the ram seal before grabbing Yugito and jumping to avoid 2 giant puppets coming out of the ground that attempted to trap the two. TCH. Good of you to dodge my Kurohige, Kiki Senpatsu black secret technique, machine triple shot, said Kankuro as he then smirked. But now you're prime targets for our next attack. Kurohige, Kiki Sankaku black secret technique, machinery triangles, said Kankuro as his 2 puppets opened up to fire off kunai attached with bombs. Futon, Daikamaitaki no Jutsu, wind style, great wind scythe technique, said Temari as she sent out a gust of wind that was greater than the first. Renden, Suna Shiga, successive shots, sand drizzle, said Gaara as he sent out a plentiful of sand bullets. The Sand siblings' attacks were directed at the airborne Yugito and Naruto as they honed in fast. Halfway to Naruto and Yugito, a massive wooden dragon burst from the ground as Naruto and Yugito landed on top of its still rising head. The dragon took the combined assault from the Sand siblings without wavering in the slightest as it then turned its head down to look at the 3 Suna nins. The dragon let out a mighty roar before rushing out at the Sand siblings. The dragon moved surprisingly fast despite its immense size and prepared to crash into the 3 before Gaara raised both hands, creating giant sand hands that stopped Naruto's dragon in its tracks while also capturing Naruto and Yugito in the process. Sabaku, Hando, desert hand, said Gaara as Naruto smiled. Okay, you win, said Naruto as Gaara allowed a rare smile. Gaara let Yugito and Naruto go as the 2 jumped to the ground next to the 3 of them. Gaara then had his sand bring out 2 scrolls, both green signifying they were from the Kazekage personally. Here are the scrolls for you both to return to your cages, said Gaara as Naruto and Yugito humbly accepted them. Thank you for coming to Suna and I hope that everything works out so that we can have peace between our villages. Gaara shook hands with Yugito and Naruto as they then said the goodbyes to Temari and Kankuro. See you guys around, said Naruto before he and Yugito threw on cloaks and left back on the trail to Konoha. As Naruto and Yugito disappeared over the horizon, Kankuro and Temari fell to their knees. What's wrong with you two? Asked Gaara as he turned his head slightly toward his downed brother and sister. Naruto hits hard, said Kankuro as Temari said the same about Yugito. If it hadn't been for Gaara, they would have surely been decimated by the assault of those two. It also helped that they were given the home field advantage being in their village. Later that night, yeah, I could have totally kicked his ass if I went all out, came the loud voice of Naruto so Yugito could hear him since she was taking a shower. But by doing something like that it causes an unnecessary ideal for power. If a village's cage can be defeated by another ninja, especially a foreigner, then it definitely paints a bad picture. Yugito turned off the water as she walked out of the bathroom clad in only a towel to see Naruto laying motionless on the bed, just like she had left him earlier. How does a Jinchuriki get chakra exhaustion again? 30 minutes earlier. Mokuton, Cho Shichuka no Jutsu, wood style, super 4-pillar house technique, said Naruto as he and Yugito stood outside in a clearing. Naruto slammed his hands on the ground as the ground erupted in a burst of wood pillars. Naruto's wood pillars converged and merged eventually into an enormous castle-like structure, complete with a tall wooden fence around it. Outside of the fence, several of Naruto's plant summonings appeared as they became bodyguards for the newly created fortress. Now, we won't have to worry about bandits disturbing our peace anymore, said Naruto before he face-planted into the ground. I think I may have put too much chakra into this. Present. When he creates a castle and pumps a tremendous amount of chakra into his summons so that they don't dispel right away and can last throughout the night. Not to mention that in the same day, having clones training before they left Sunagakure and that he and his sexy girlfriend just faced a cage and two Jonin for over an hour in a spa. In hindsight, I should have thought that through more, said Naruto before wiggling his toes slightly. I can wiggle my toes now, so in about another half hour I should be able to move. Thanks for helping me get a shower and to bed, because the way I am now, I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. Naruto was wearing only boxes as Yugito helped him take care of himself before bed because it was taking him forever to do so himself. She then helped him onto the bed so he could lay down and recover from his state of immobility. Yugito nodded her head as she then picked up the shirt she put out to wear for the night. Right before putting it on, Yugito then realized something and a smile grew on her face. Yugito threw the shirt down as she turned back to the whiskered blonde laying on the bed before her. Naruto noticed Yugito's grin and was wondering what was going on. Yugi-chan, said Naruto as he noticed Yugito walking toward the bed before crawling over to him and sitting on her knees. So you basically can't do anything right now. Helpless, said Yugito as Naruto nodded his head slowly with a confused look on his face. Pretty much. Though being a Jinchuriki, I'll recover here shortly. I just told you that though, Yugi-chan. Were you not listening? Started Naruto only to stop when he felt Yugito's hand rub against the part of his anatomy hidden underneath his boxes. So I could pretty much do anything to you right now and you wouldn't be able to stop it, said Yugito as her smile grew when she felt Naruto, responding. Because you've kept me waiting for far too long. And I intend to make you pay for that. Lemon start. Yugito continued to rub against Naruto's manhood until it stiffened to her liking before, with ninja-like speed, she took Naruto's boxes off and flung them out of sight and out of mind. Yugito then leaned down before deeply kissing the motionless Naruto while wrapping a hand around his hardened member. Yugito smiled into the kiss as she heard Naruto swallow a sharp breath from her, slowly pumping his cock with her hand. Yugito disengaged from the kiss, still smiling. This is going to be fun. Oh, and thank you for that, Naruto-kun, said Yugito as she felt the towel around her get taken off. Wait, what? Yugito didn't have enough time to realize that Naruto just took off her towel before she was lying on her back with Naruto's shaft rubbing against her opening teasingly. What was that about making me pay? Asked Naruto before he leaned down to engage Yugito in another heated kiss that she wasn't prepared for but returned eagerly. Naruto continued to rub against Yugito's lower lips to get her juices flowing as he moved to Yugito's neck with kisses along her jawline. As Naruto kissed Yugito's neck soothingly, he placed a hand around one of her supple, C-cup breasts, lightly squeezing it in his hand. Yugito let out a small moan as she wondered what was going on. I thought you had chakra exhaustion. How are you moving right now? Asked Yugito before moaning again as Naruto worked his way down to her breast from her neck with his mouth while pinching the other's nipple. Naruto looked up at Yugito with a grin after licking her breast once more. I may have lied to get you to this point. Kyuubi Jinchurikis don't experience chakra exhaustion, my dear Neko cat. And it worked better than I hoped because now, said Naruto, positioning himself carefully before inserting himself slowly into Yugito's pussy. Naruto found himself fully engulfed as he looked at Yugito's blissful face from the feeling of Naruto's cock inside her. No hymen. Yugito adjusted to the feeling of the rock-hard blonde inside of her. I broke it during Jinchuriki training, but I've never, oh god. Started Yugito before being cut off by Naruto rocking his hips back and forth at a steady pace. Yugito bit down on her finger as she let loose another moan, feeling every inch of Naruto inside of her. Naruto began to pick up the pace, pistoning into Yugito as he could feel Yugito rocking her own hips to match his movements. Yugito wrapped her legs around Naruto's waist to push him even deeper inside and got a grunt out of Naruto from the added tightness of the simple gesture. This feels so good, Yugi-chan, said Naruto before being pulled into a searing kiss by Yugito as he continued to thrust into her. Ending the kiss, Yugito felt Naruto moving her legs so that they were now resting on his shoulders. Yugito's look of confusion soon turned to one of pure ecstasy as Naruto was now burying himself deeper and harder into her in this new position, hitting her deepest spot over and over again. Please. Don't. Stop. Said Yugito in between pants as she felt herself approaching orgasm. Naruto felt Yugito tighten around him considerably as her vision blurred slightly from the intensity of her climax. Naruto slowed down and let Yugito's legs fall back to either side of him as he let Yugito come down from her moment of bliss. Coming down from her orgasm, Yugito looked at Naruto with a predatory look as she stopped Naruto, making him pull out of her. Before Naruto could ask why, Yugito pushed Naruto onto his back as she sat up to stroke his still hard cock some more. I thought you were a virgin, Naruto-kun. Asked Yugito, still rubbing Naruto's cock. How are you so good at this? I am, but I must be some kind of sex juggernaut, said Naruto before Yugito placed herself above him as Naruto added in thought, not to mention the fact that my sensei writes smut and has been teaching me all about this stuff since I met him. Yugito slowly guided her way down Naruto's length as she then began to bounce up and down on her lover's cock, reveling in the feeling of riding it to her own liking. Oh, that feels so good, said Yugito, pulling Naruto into her chest as Naruto started to thrust back up into her. Naruto could feel himself reaching that point of no return, but Yugito was adamant about not letting him leave. Yugi-chan, let go. I'm about to. Go ahead, I want it. I promise it's fine, said Yugito, cutting Naruto off from trying to leave. Yugito plopped down on Naruto a final time before feeling the warm fluid of his seed coat her insides. The force of his climax triggered a second one from Yugito as it helped milk Naruto for all he had. Naruto then fell backward as Yugito took him out of her before cuddling up beside him. Yugito rubbed her cheek against Naruto's chest as she smiled happily. That was everything I thought it would be. I feel so, that was amazing, said Yugito as Naruto smiled tiredly. Me too, Yugi-chan, said Naruto as he pulled Yugito in a little closer while moving the covers over them. We'll have to do it again soon. Naruto and Yugito lay still for a few seconds with their eyes closed until Yugito broke the silence. Want to go again right now? Asked Yugito before looking up at Naruto. The two shared a smile as they kissed and Naruto pulled the covers up, covering them completely. Meanwhile, in a bar somewhere in the land of grass. Oh, Jiraiya-sama, tell us more about how you taught the yellow flash. A request from a well-endowed woman leaning on the toad Sanin. No, tell us more about the orange fox. A different request from the equally well-endowed woman on the other side of Jiraiya. Of course I will, ladies, started Jiraiya before he felt a tingle. Jiraiya then smiled to himself internally as he realized what the tingle meant. Way to go, Gaki. Or should I say, man. I bet he even did the thing with the legs over his shoulder for his first time. I told him those lessons would pay off one day. Now I'll just have to find a way to get him to do it on video, thought Jiraiya as he then returned his attention to the ladies that were accompanying him at the moment. Lemon End. One day later, outskirts of Sunagakure. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki has left the village. You can go ahead and pursue your target of the Ichibi, came the voice of Zetsu, the Akatsuki spy, as he was talking to two other members of the Akatsuki. Zetsu then dug back into the ground to leave the others to their assignments. The taller figure of the two pulled out what appeared to be a clay bird as he tossed it out in front of them. A puff of smoke later and a giant clay bird stood ready for use. Don't worry, Sasori-senpai. I'll handle this one, said the taller figure as he leaped on the bird. Having to wait for the Kyuubi Jinchuriki to leave seemed pointless as I'm sure we could have taken him, especially with my art. You heard Leader Sama. We are not to face the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, he is the leader's target, said the smaller figure as he added. Don't keep me waiting. The taller figure took off on his bird over Sunagakure as the smaller figure realized it was finally time. So, it begins. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.